Professional taxi drivers in London consume 40% less fuel than average motorists, covering identical distances. And this is no coincidence. These professionals master fuel-saving techniques that the automotive industry prefers to keep secret because they directly threaten their profits on fuel sales. In the following minutes, you will discover 15 proven methods that can save you up to £1,500 annually. Technique number 8 is so powerful that some transport companies consider it a fundamental competitive advantage. Stay with me until the end because this information could transform your driving style forever. The secrets you are about to learn have been developed by drivers with over 25 years of experience on Europe's most demanding streets. Technique 15. Master the art of advanced predictive braking. Experienced drivers anticipate traffic situations instead of reacting abruptly to immediate events occurring ahead. This proactive approach can reduce fuel consumption between 15 and 20% in normal urban conditions. Observe traffic 3 or 4 vehicles ahead instead of concentrating solely on the car immediately preceding you. When you spot red lights in the distance, progressively lift your foot from the accelerator to exploit the vehicle's natural inertia. This technique prevents harsh braking followed by brutal accelerations that consume enormous amounts of fuel and prematurely wear components. A Madrid taxi driver with 30 years of experience confessed he can travel entire kilometers using only his vehicle's momentum. Anticipation becomes second nature after several weeks of conscious and disciplined practice on various road conditions. Your engine works less, your brakes wear less rapidly, and your consumption drops drastically without compromising safety standards. Professional drivers develop peripheral vision that allows them to detect traffic changes up to 200 meters away. This skill is perfected by constantly observing rearview mirrors and anticipating the behavior of other road users. Technique 14. Intelligently exploit cruise control according to terrain conditions. Contrary to preconceived ideas, cruise control is not always synonymous with fuel savings under all driving conditions. On flat terrain and highways, it maintains optimal constant speed that can reduce consumption between 8 and 12% compared to manual driving. However, on undulating roads, immediately deactivate this system because it consumes excessively on climbs while maintaining constant speed. Professional drivers only use cruise control on uniform routes exceeding 50 kilometers without significant altitude variations. In mountainous areas, your right foot becomes more intelligent than any electronic system currently available on the market. You can anticipate slopes, progressively adjust speed, and exploit the vehicle's natural momentum more efficiently than automated systems. This manual management allows additional savings of 10 to 15% on rough terrain according to studies conducted by German manufacturers. Modern adaptive cruise control improves these results but requires specific calibration according to local driving conditions. Technique 13. Optimize your routes according to meteorological and hourly conditions. Wind represents a major factor that most motorists completely ignore in their efficiency calculations. A headwind of 30 km per hour can increase your consumption between 15 and 20% depending on vehicle aerodynamics. Experienced drivers consult weather forecasts before planning their daily itineraries to maximize efficiency and minimize resistance. They choose routes protected by buildings or natural reliefs to reduce aerodynamic resistance and take advantage of favorable currents when possible. In case of strong wind, reduce your speed between 5 and 10 km per hour to compensate for additional resistance. This adaptation may seem insignificant but generates substantial savings on long journeys exceeding 100 kilometers. A Seville taxi driver with 15 years of experience saves up to £5 daily simply by avoiding roads exposed to prevailing winds. Hourly planning also influences because air currents vary according to temperature and time of day throughout the 24-hour cycle. During the first hours of morning, winds are generally weaker and more stable, providing optimal conditions. Technique 12. Perfectly manage air conditioning by zones and intelligent temperature control. Modern air conditioning allows precise control of each vehicle zone with independent systems for driver and passengers. Activate only occupied zones to reduce compressor load by half and optimize energy performance throughout the journey. If traveling alone, cool only the driver zone and close rear passenger vents to concentrate airflow where needed. This simple technique reduces additional air conditioning consumption between 40 and 50% according to exterior conditions. Use air recirculation only during extreme heat peaks or high atmospheric pollution periods to maintain air quality. Alternate between exterior air and recirculation every 15 minutes to maintain optimal efficiency without compromising interior air quality. Professionals program air conditioning to 22 degrees maximum, ideal temperature for comfort and economy, according to ergonomic studies. Each additional degree increases consumption between 3 and 5% exponentially, according to the difference with exterior temperature. Pre-cool the vehicle before departure on hot days to reduce air conditioning operating time during the initial phase. This preconditioning technique can save up to 20% of additional air conditioning consumption during summer months. Technique 11. Master the art of strategic parking and vehicle preparation. Parking location directly influences your consumption when restarting and the general efficiency of the journey. Always seek shade in summer to prevent habitable overheating that can reach temperatures exceeding 60 degrees Celsius. A vehicle parked in the sun needs 3 times more energy to recover comfortable temperature, according to professional measurements. In winter, favor places protected from wind and oriented toward the sun to take advantage of natural heating. This precaution reduces engine warm-up time and intensive heating use during the first kilometers of travel. Experienced drivers use reflective sunshades that maintain the habitable 10 degrees cooler even under extreme conditions. Always park facing forward to avoid consuming maneuvers when departing that can represent up to 100 additional meters. This professional habit saves fuel and improves safety by allowing faster and more direct exit from parking spaces. Plan parking according to your next destination to minimize unnecessary maneuvers and optimize the exit route efficiently. If these revolutionary techniques interest you and you want to transform your driving style, do not hesitate to subscribe to this channel and activate all notifications. I regularly share exclusive expert advice that the automotive industry prefers to keep secret to protect their benefits. Your active support motivates me to continue these deep investigations and search for new saving techniques. The upcoming videos will reveal even more impactful secrets that can double your current savings. Technique 10. Exploit engine thermal inertia and intelligent trip planning. A warm engine consumes 20 to 30% less than a cold engine, according to technical data from European manufacturers. Plan your travels to chain several trips without letting the engine cool for more than 30 minutes between journeys. This professional technique maximizes the efficiency of each fuel liter by maintaining the engine in its optimal operating range. Avoid isolated trips of less than 5 kilometers that do not allow the engine to reach its optimal operating temperature. Group your shopping, appointments, and obligations to maintain the engine in its maximum efficiency range during extended periods. A Valencia taxi driver with 20 years of experience organizes his daily routes according to this principle and saves up to 12 pounds weekly. Engine oil reaches its optimal viscosity after 10 minutes of continuous operation under normal conditions. Before this period, the engine struggles and consumes excessively to compensate for internal resistance of cold components. Cooling systems also need time to reach stable temperature and optimize combustion efficiency throughout the operating cycle. This thermal planning can represent savings of up to 200 pounds annually for frequent drivers. Technique 9. Optimize tire pressure according to climatic conditions and load variations. Correct tire pressure represents one of the most neglected factors by motorists, but with the greatest economic impact. Insufficient pressure of only 0.5 bars immediately increases consumption between 8 and 10%. Check pressure weekly with a professionally calibrated precise digital gauge to obtain exact measurements. Gas station gauges are frequently poorly calibrated and can induce costly errors in pressure management. Adjust pressure according to ambient temperature because it varies 0.1 bar every 10 degrees of thermal difference. In summer, slightly underinflate in the morning to compensate for thermal expansion in the afternoon when temperatures reach their maximum. Professionals maintain their tires 0.2 bars above manufacturer recommendations for normal conditions. This controlled overpressure reduces rolling resistance without compromising safety or accelerating premature wear. Adapt pressure according to transported load by increasing 0.3 bars per each 100 additional kilograms. Correct pressure maintenance can save up to 300 pounds annually in fuel and tire wear costs. Technique 8. The perfected secret method of pulse and glide. This revolutionary technique developed by professional drivers can reduce your consumption between 20 and 30% under ideal conditions. Accelerate moderately until exceeding your cruising speed by 5 km per hour, using constant and progressive acceleration. Release the accelerator completely and let the vehicle decelerate naturally, taking advantage of inertia and aerodynamic resistance. Repeat this cycle throughout the journey to exploit inertia to the maximum and maintain the engine in its efficiency zone. On highways, use differences of 10 km per hour between acceleration and deceleration to maximize gliding periods. In the city, reduce these differences to 3 km per hour to maintain traffic flow without disturbing other drivers. This method works because it maintains the engine in its optimal efficiency zone, avoiding excessive revolutions. Free gliding phases allow spectacular savings on long journeys exceeding 50 kilometers in favorable conditions. Perfect this technique by practicing on lightly traveled roads until completely mastering acceleration and deceleration timing. Expert drivers can maintain normal average speeds while drastically reducing fuel consumption through precise technique application. Technique 7. Master electronic engine management and parameter adaptation. Modern engines adapt to your driving style thanks to sophisticated algorithms that constantly learn from your behavior. Adopt smooth driving for 2 weeks to reprogram the onboard computer according to efficiency patterns. This electronic adaptation automatically optimizes injection and ignition according to your habits to maximize performance. Avoid brutal accelerations that force the system into performance mode with enriched injection maps. This sport mode consumes up to 40% additional fuel during intense acceleration periods. Use the Eco mode available on most recent vehicles that modifies multiple engine parameters for efficiency. This function modifies accelerator response and optimizes gear changes to prioritize efficiency over performance. Gains can reach 12 to 15% according to circulation conditions and trip type. Occasionally, reset the computer by disconnecting the battery for 5 minutes to erase erroneous adaptations. This reset technique allows the system to relearn optimized patterns from scratch. Technique 6. Exploit variable fuel density and refueling strategy. Fuel expands with heat and contracts with cold according to basic laws of applied physics. This physical property can save you up to 4% on each full tank if you apply the correct strategy. Refuel early in the morning when temperatures are minimal and fuel reaches its maximum density. Fuel stored in underground tanks is denser in the first hours, maintaining stable temperatures. You thus obtain more real energy for the same price paid, taking advantage of natural thermal variations. Avoid hot afternoon hours where dilated fuel contains less energy per dispensed liter. This ancestral technique was already used by early aviators who needed to maximize their aircraft autonomy. A Bilbao taxi driver with 25 years of experience confirmed saving over 100 pounds annually this way. Choose service stations with high sales volume that frequently renew their tanks to guarantee fresh fuel. Fuel stored for prolonged periods can degrade and lose energy efficiency over time. Technique 5. Intelligently manage traffic jams and urban driving conditions. Traffic jams represent every motorist's nightmare concerned about consumption, but can be managed efficiently. Maintain minimal constant speed instead of constantly alternating between complete stops and harsh accelerations. This fluid traffic technique reduces consumption between 15 and 20% in dense urban circulation. Observe circulation far ahead of you to anticipate decelerations and avoid unnecessary braking maneuvers. Leave sufficient space to absorb speed variations without braking, allowing the engine to maintain its regime. Use engine braking by progressively downshifting instead of brutally braking with the brake system. This method preserves brakes and recovers the vehicle's kinetic energy, transforming it into engine compression. Experienced drivers transform traffic jams into energy efficiency exercises, developing patience and technique. Anticipate rush hours by consulting traffic applications to avoid the most severe congestion periods. Plan alternative routes that, although longer, may result more energy efficient than congested main roads. Technique 4. Optimize your vehicle's aerodynamics by eliminating unnecessary resistances. Aerodynamic resistance increases exponentially with speed according to the physical equation of forward resistance. Remove roof racks, roof boxes, and useless accessories that create turbulence and increase the resistance coefficient. This equipment can increase consumption between 10 and 15%, especially at speeds exceeding 80 km per hour. Close windows beyond 60 km per hour to reduce interior aerodynamic resistance significantly. Air entering the habitacle creates superior resistance to properly used air conditioning systems. Verify your vehicle alignment because poor geometry exponentially increases rolling resistance. This verification by a qualified professional can reveal defects invisible to the naked eye, but energetically costly. A perfectly aligned vehicle glides better on the road and consumes less fuel, maintaining correct trajectory. Keep the bodywork clean because accumulated dirt can increase aerodynamic resistance up to 5%. Regularly inspect the vehicle's underside to detect loose elements that may create additional turbulence. Technique 3. Master the art of optimal gear shifting according to engine type. Shifting gears at the correct moment represents an art that professionals master after years of experience. Change gear between 1800 and 2000 revolutions per minute for naturally aspirated gasoline engines. This range maintains the engine in its maximum performance zone, taking advantage of available torque without wasting fuel. For diesel engines, the optimal range is situated between 1200 and 1800 revolutions, taking advantage of their specific torque curve. Avoid excessively high revolutions because consumption becomes exponential beyond 3000 revolutions per minute. Use the tachometer as a precision instrument to optimize each change according to load conditions. On climbs, do not hesitate to downshift instead of forcing in higher gear, which would overload the engine. This technique preserves the engine and maintains reasonable consumption, avoiding the knocking phenomenon that damages internal components. Turbocharged engines require specific techniques taking advantage of turbo pressure in medium revolution ranges. Develop auditory sensitivity to detect the optimal shifting point without depending solely on instruments. Technique 2. Exploit your route topography through terrain reconnaissance and planning. Perfect knowledge of your driving environment marks the difference between amateur and professional drivers. Memorize slopes, curves, and deceleration zones of your habitual routes to anticipate necessary maneuvers. This knowledge allows anticipating and optimizing your driving, reducing unforeseen situations that increase consumption. Approach climbs with slight excess speed to exploit kinetic momentum and reduce engine effort. On descents, take advantage of gravity to maintain speed without accelerating, using only engine braking when necessary. Modern GPS applications indicate route altimetric profiles, allowing advanced energy planning and optimization. Use this information to adapt your speed according to topography, optimizing kinetic energy use. This geographical driving technique can reduce consumption by 12% in mountainous regions. Identify reference points that indicate slope changes to anticipate necessary maneuvers in advance. Expert drivers develop muscle memory that allows them to automatically optimize each known section. Technique 1. The revolutionary method of predictive maintenance and integral optimization. Preventive maintenance represents the most profitable investment for long-term fuel economy and vehicle efficiency. Replace the air filter every 15,000 kilometers instead of waiting for complete fouling that significantly reduces performance. A clean filter improves combustion and reduces consumption between 5 and 8%, allowing optimal air-fuel mixture. Use superior quality engine oils that reduce internal friction and maintain stable viscosity under various conditions. This premium oil costs more initially, but generates substantial savings by reducing engine internal resistances. Regularly verify wheel alignment and tire balancing to optimize contact with the pavement surface. These adjustments optimize road contact and reduce rolling resistance, maintaining correct trajectory and stability. Meticulous maintenance can improve energy efficiency between 15 and 20% according to the vehicle's initial condition. Replace spark plugs according to manufacturer intervals because worn plugs can increase consumption up to 12%. Maintain the injection system clean by occasionally using quality additives that eliminate accumulated deposits. You have just discovered the best-kept secrets of professional drivers developed over decades of experience. These 15 revolutionary techniques can completely transform your fuel consumption starting today. Disciplined application of only half these tips can save you several £100 annually. If this valuable information has been useful for improving your driving efficiency, consider subscribing and activating all notifications. I constantly prepare other explosive revelations about the automotive industry that manufacturers prefer to keep in absolute secrecy. Your active support and participation enormously encourage me to pursue these deep and costly investigations. Share this video with your relatives who constantly complain about elevated fuel prices. Together, we can make a difference against the petroleum industry giants who control prices. Each technique you apply represents money you stop unnecessarily giving to multinational petroleum companies.